Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about client red flags that you need to look out for when you're in the process of signing a new client. So guys, this is a topic that I've actually never heard someone talk about on YouTube before, or even in a course or anything online in the SMMA industry. And it's a very important topic to talk about, so I'm very unsure why no one's talked about it. But if anyone has any links to other videos, please let me know, because I'd be very interested to hear other people's opinions on it. If you have any opinions on it, or if you've ran into any client red flags yourselves, let me know in the comment section below, because I'd be really intrigued to see what client red flags you spot or you look out for when you're in the process of signing a client. But these ones that I'm going to talk about in this video are some really, really common ones that, especially if you're a beginner, you're going to struggle to potentially look out for, and you might even look over just because you're so desperate to sign a client. And to be honest, it's stuff that shouldn't be looked over, because it is going to cause you more harm than good in the long term, no matter how desperate you are to sign a client. So number one is pressuring you into agreeing and guaranteeing specific results. Now, this is a very kind of taboo subject at the moment, because having the perfect Facebook ad offer, having the perfect offer for your agency is a very hot topic in the minute. And this isn't to say that you don't need to be able to deliver exceptional results. It's not to say that you don't need an exceptional Facebook ad offer or an exceptional offer for your agency. However, having a client force you to guarantee specific results in order for you to work with them is a massive client red flag for our agency. And the reason being is you're putting yourself in the position to potentially overpromise something to a client that you're then going to underdeliver on. The absolute foundation, in my opinion, of any business I've ever ran, and especially in my agency, is, and this is nothing new, is constantly under-promising and over-delivering. So if you know that you're going to get a client 100 leads that month, tell them you're going to get 60. So then they're only going to be impressed. If you tell them, if you think you're going to get 100 and then you promise them 120 because you really want to impress them on the meeting and sign them, even if you do get them 100, which is amazing, they're going to be disappointed because you promised them 120. So when we're combated with this situation, when we're combated with this red flag, and it is a red flag, when we hear people on sales calls say, Tom and Harry, I'll work with you tomorrow if you put in the contract that you're going to bring me 15 Invisalign patients a month. The answer is absolutely not. Because our brand's so strong now in our agency, we can come across in the meeting politely and say, I respect that, Tim. I understand why you want to, you want us to guarantee those results. However, we can't guarantee those results, because bringing in those results is kind of out of our hands to a point. We can bring you all the leads and we can give you the materials and the go high level sequences to help you convert them. However, if you don't pick up the phone, if you don't follow them up in the right way, if your consultations are shit, and you don't supply loads of value, or your staff are rude, or, even down to, what the practice looks like and feels like, people aren't going to choose you over the 10 other Invisalign dentists in the local area, which is why you can't guarantee that. And when I see social media marketing agencies guaranteeing, ridiculous things like 20 Invisalign patients a month or all of this shite, it frustrates me, because it sets an unrealistic expectation of the marketing world, because that's not to say you're never going to get them 15 patients a month. We've got our dental clients, 10 to 15 Invisalign patients some months off of a very low ad spend. And when you look at the numbers, that's an incredibly good result. Bearing in mind, the comprehensive Invisalign packages are around $3,000 to $4,000. Off less than $1,000 ad spend, insane, using the go high level sequences. However, we would never go in knowing we've done that in the past. Yes, you can go into a meeting and say, right, we've done this in the past. This is some example work we've got, but this isn't to say that it's going to happen to you. You might not have the sales skills that our previous client had. You might not have the amazing practice, the amazing testimonials that this client has. So there's loads of things, but having clients pressure you into giving guarantees is a massive red flag that you should look out for. Whether you work with them or not, it's something to notice in a meeting, because it says a lot about what they're going to expect from you moving forward. Number two is also a very common one, and it's more prominent in the beginning, when you can't build authority in the relationship with that client. It's also more common when you're a younger person. So I experienced this a lot in my early days, even though I'm still young now, 24. I've got the experience now where people take me extremely seriously on a sales call or when I'm telling them what to do. Whereas when I first started, even in dropshipping and in some of the previous relationships I had through there, I wasn't taken very seriously, which opened me up to the client telling me how to run the business, telling me how to operate the different marketing campaigns, which is super frustrating, and it can actually get you in a bit of trouble with your campaigns. And what I mean by that is, say you're getting a Facebook ad up, and you get on a meeting, you're showcasing the client, right, this is the Facebook ad we're getting up, this is the copy we're going to run, this is the strategy, and they come back and say, Harry, actually we think you should do this piece of copy is going to get the better result. And it's like, you're the expert, you're the Facebook ad expert, you're the person who owns the agency, you're the person being paid for your expertise, and if a client's telling you how to do your job, then you're technically, you're just an employee of that business rather than someone who's been hired to do a really good job. And it can get you into trouble because, at the beginning, and I fell into this trap, you end up listening to the business owner, and then, who would have thought that the stuff that they thought was going to work doesn't work because they don't know the platforms, they don't know how to run professional digital marketing campaigns. The campaign fails because you've listened to them, and then you get the brunt of it. You lose that client because the campaign's not succeeded, but you've not run the campaign you actually want because you've listened to the client. So it's a big red flag, and you just need to stamp it out as soon as you notice it, and kind of stand your ground. Do it in a polite way, but just make it very aware to them that you are the expert, you know what you're doing, and if they don't follow the strategy, they're going to open themselves up to not getting the results that you can get them, and it's going to be super frustrating for them in the long run. So just trust what you're doing. Number 3, this is kind of combined with the results one, which is getting results instantly. And this is absolutely your fault. This isn't a red flag. It's only a red flag if you don't combat it straight away. If you let them say, right, Tom and Harry, I'm going to pay you today, and I want 5 leads every day coming in from tomorrow. It's your job as the agency to let them know, because that's not their fault. That's just them not understanding the process. And usually it's through what you've said prior, building up to that point and building up to them signing on, to make them believe that they can get results instantly. So when people say that, when clients say that, I want 5 leads coming in tomorrow, I want a 10x ROAS within a week, it's up to you to set their expectations realistically of how long it's going to take. There's a setup time, there's a testing phase you need to go through with all your ads, you need to test the sales funnels, you need to make sure the email marketing's on point, you need to make sure they're following up in the right way. All of this stuff takes time, and if they're expecting and wanting results instantly, and if you don't get them instantly, they're going to be unhappy. That's a red flag, because you need to combat that and you need to set them straight on it. And that's absolutely fine. If you're in that position and you've almost overpromised already, providing you've not accepted the invoice yet, get on a meeting and set the record straight of what's actually realistic. There's no point, people think, I'm going to overpromise, I'm going to get the deal over the line, but that's affecting you in the long term, and it's especially affecting your brand, because they're going to be disappointed eventually. Whether it's now and you get 1 month out of them, or you tell them in 5 months time, or whenever you tell them, you need to tell them right away, because it's not fair. Number 4, not wanting to sign a contract. Is a red flag, isn't a red flag. I can understand why they don't want to sign a contract with you, but if they really don't want to sign a contract, then it shows to me that, one, you've probably not done a good enough job of building rapport and trust with that client, because we never have that issue. All of our clients always, sign the contract straight away when they work with us. So you need to work on how you come across, whether you're building trust in the correct way, whether you're coming across as a trustable person. We got on a client meeting the other day, and they said they had a meeting with an agency 2 weeks before they had a meeting with us, and they refused to turn their camera on Zoom. They refused to turn their camera on Zoom. They refused to tell them where they were located in the world. And Christ, if that's not building trust, I don't know what is. If I got on a meeting with someone who was about to pay them $2,000 a month for a retained fee, and they wouldn't tell me where they were, they wouldn't show their face, I'd be like, I don't trust you, I'm not signing a contract with you. So there are little things that you've probably done in the lead up to the meeting and in the sales process that's, you've not shown trust. And that is a red flag, because although it's a red flag inflicted by you, if they don't trust you now, then it's gonna have a ripple effect throughout your relationship with that client. You need trust. All of business relationships are built on trust. So they need to trust you so that they trust your work. They trust you going through the correct process in the testing phase when you're spending ad spend and not necessarily getting them anything back. That's when you need their trust, because if you don't have that trust there, that client's going to be a real headache for you. And finally, the final red flag is wanting to approve everything. So This is more common in kind of social media management roles, but we've had it in the past where a client wants to approve every single ad that goes out. And I've noticed with this particular client red flag that over time, if you prove the first kind of couple of batches of content and they kind of trust your work, then that red flag disappears. But it is annoying and it does hold up the process. One piece of advice I would massively give you guys, if you've got a client that wants everything approved, then let them know that them wanting to approve everything is going to hold up the process and essentially get them results in a slower time period, because you've got to make it aware to them. The Facebook ad process is a constantly evolving beast in itself, in the sense that, you know, you might go on Facebook Ads Manager today, the ads are working, tomorrow they're not working, and you need to quickly get new ads up, quickly duplicate an ad set, get a different copy up, different headline, different creative. And if you have to send them a creative and a copy every time you make a change, and it takes them 2 days to get back to you, that campaign's going to just be going along so sluggishly. It's going to be really difficult to get them results, because everything with the Facebook ad platform is, you know, compounding, it's consistency, and it's over time it will build momentum. Momentum is such a key word with Facebook ads. So I'd make them aware. But if you do, you know, feel like they're going to be very controlling over every single thing you do, it is a red flag that you should potentially combat. But just keep an eye on if it's really, like, if it's to the fucking extreme where they want to check every single thing that goes out, you can't make a single word change, then you're not going to have the freedom and flexibility to really get the campaigns off the ground. So I'd contemplate working with them. But yeah, those are 4 or 5 red flags that we look out for, that we spot when we're in client meetings. You should look out for them too. Don't necessarily, if you spot them, completely rule out that client. That's not what we're saying. It's just keep an eye on it and potentially combat it early on, so it doesn't become a hidden issue throughout the relationship with that client, because it really can. There are a few there which, if you don't spot them and, you know, confront them straight on with a client, you know, especially things like telling you how to do your job and wanting to approve everything, that can cause you issues in the long run, and you can end up being an employee. So hopefully that helps, guys. If you've not watched our previous video, click the link in the description, because there's a link to our previous video there. I'm sure it's a good one, so check it out, and we'll see you in the next video.